Dave McMenamin, ESPN NBA reporter. He was there covering Game 5 last night, kind enough to get up early. Dave, what did you expect to happen last night?
I thought the Lakers would come out with a stronger effort. Seeing them fall down 14 in the first quarter was surprising to me. The stats were on their side. I think ESPN aired a statistic going into the game that since 2003, the home team favored in a game 5, even when they were down 3-1, had won 75% of those games. The Lakers made an effort. They did hold a lead in the fourth quarter after both LeBron and Luka Doncic were banged up, but they were outclassed. The Wolves, when I was walking out the arena with a couple reporters last night, we were discussing the series. I think the Wolves beat the Lakers in every single aspect of the series, and that's where you get the gentleman's sweep.
But you also get this fourth quarter domination, and that speaks to, I think, LeBron and Luka, the lack of depth on this team. As you handicap what this team might look like next year, where's the infantry coming? Where are the reserves?
Well, think about it. To acquire Luka, they traded 2 rotation pieces in Anthony Davis and Max Christie and got back 1. And I was talking to LeBron after the game last night, and he was marveling at the Wolves after losing in the Western Conference Finals last year, trading 1 rotation piece in Karl Anthony Towns and getting back 2, Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. So clearly this team needs to address the middle, the big man position, because J.J. Redick didn't trust Jackson Hayes in the playoffs, and he was already considered kind of a backup playing above his role. And then they need to get more depth. In Game 5, 22-4 in bench scoring. That's not going to get it done.
Yeah, and you go back to the previous game as well. I think J.J. rolled the dice and just said, look, I'm going with these guys. We got to win this game. If we don't win this game, we're probably not winning this series. But do you grade J.J. Redick differently from the regular season to the postseason? Is that fair to do that?
He's a first-year head coach that had a very successful regular season, who ran into a team that, even though they were ranked the 6th seed compared to his 3 seed, there's only 1 win that separated them. They were in the top 10 in both offense and defense. They won 17 out of 21 games coming into the postseason. They're one of the toughest matchups in all of basketball. That isn't to say that JJ is not going to be kicking himself all summer long and wonder should I really throw Maxi Kleber out there if he hasn't played since January? Could I have put Gabe Vincent in the start of the fourth quarter of Game 4 to get Luka Doncic 2 minutes of rest? He's going to go through these things in his head, but ultimately there's another stat that really stood out to me. Going into the playoffs, the Lakers starters for Game 1 had played 100 minutes together in the regular season. The Wolves starters going into Game 1 had played 714. I mean, that the amount of time those guys had to coalesce compared to what the Lakers did trying to sprint towards the finish line after the Luka deal, it wasn't a comparison.
LeBron said that he hadn't thought about his future when asked after the game. What do you think his answer is going to be?
I think he'll be back. I think, listen, he's done this similar song and dance ever since they lost to the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference Finals. That was year 20. Last year, similar kind of sentiments when the season ended. That was 21. This year's 22. I think when you pass 2 decades in the league, you're allowed to walk away from an arduous season and be like, I got to think things through. But he's going to be back. Bronny James is on this team under contract for the next 2 seasons. I talked to Bronny about his favorite memories from the year, and he mentioned just the surreal idea of going to work with his dad. And he said, I look forward to that for years to come. So it could not just be a swan song for LeBron James next year, but a continuation. And he'll try to maximize this thing. That's what he's done ever since 2003.
Dave McMenamin, he covers the Lakers for ESPN, covers the NBA. What do you think Luka's future is?
There's a little bit of a question, right? Would he actually put down roots in LA, sign the long-term extension? As of August 2nd, the Lakers will be able to offer him a 4-year, $229 million extension, or he could opt for a 3-year deal worth about 175, which would allow him to go for a supermax in 2028, I believe. Listen, the Lakers have rolled out the red carpet from the moment he arrived. And I should say this, LeBron James has been a very accommodating superstar teammate to try to make that transition as smooth as possible. If you are about being a star and if you are about the spotlight and you thrive in those situations, there's no better atmosphere to play for in the NBA than the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a traveling show, and you're going to get fans packing the arena every spot you go around the country. It's a circle the date type of thing on the calendar for all your opponents. And if you're a competitor who feeds off of that, which I believe Luka Doncic is, it's a great place to be and spending your prime in the NBA.
But at a certain point, you look around and you go, these guys got their titles. I'm sort of the last of that class. Like, I got to get my title. He's not very close to a title, and the West is pretty young. If you look at OKC, even Houston's a young team. Minnesota, it's going to be a uphill sledding here for the Lakers, even after LeBron. That's the only curious part I have with Luka. Do I understand the location and the area code? Absolutely. And the money. But are you going to win a championship there in the next couple of years? And I would argue you're not.
I think that's a fair argument. Now, I think you'd also say, had he not been traded from the Dallas Mavericks, it's not like they were world beaters with that roster either, and he was committed to try to make it work.
But they went to the finals, though, Dave.
Yeah, of course they did, but they went to the finals as a 5th seed, and as you just mentioned, the other teams in the West got better this year. So it's not like they were in the pole position to return to the finals this year. The Lakers have a lot of work to do to get this roster better, so he feels better about the prospect of being here. They didn't have a center, right? So that's a huge glaring issue. He had 2 lob threat centers in Derek Lively II and Daniel Gafford that helped fuel that trip to the finals. Rob Pelinka has his work cut out for him. He had 2 brilliant trades this year to get Dorian Finney-Smith, who really helped this team defensively the second half of the year, and of course the Luka Doncic trade. But this roster is incomplete, and Luka is that good, and LeBron is that committed that I don't think they're miles away from the type of moves they need to make to become one of the contenders on the short list going into next year.
What is LeBron playing for moving forward?
He wants another championship. Like, he knows it's within his grasp. He is playing for the ability to be in the NBA, not with just Bronny James as his teammate, but Bronny James, a contributor on a winning NBA team. And so he's going to be along for that part of the process as well. And he loves basketball. Like, it's kind of simple answer, but I think there's a kinship that he shared with Tom Brady because there was the recognition that I'm never going to do anything else in my life that I love as much as this process. And I've already put in so much time to get to this point. I'm not going to walk away until my mind, my body, my spirit all tell me to. So as long as I have a chance to be part of this endeavor with a chance to win, because the year they had in 21-22, when they came in with great expectations and didn't even make the play-in tournament, that aged him like 10 years. But the winning basketball they've been playing ever since the trade deadline of 2023, he has pep in his step, and he wants to keep riding this thing.
If I said, give me, since you make your living with your words, how would you describe LeBron's career as a Laker?
It's you want one word?
Do you have one word?
Underwhelming by his standards.
Okay.
So it's a few more than one, but getting a championship and become the only player in league history to win Finals MVP and a championship with 3 different franchises, like, we can't understate what that accomplishment was. But there haven't been deep playoff runs. There's been a fair share of drama off the court. His body hasn't been totally reliable. Then again, we're talking about the coda to what was already a completely brilliant career. If you just took the first Cavs chapter, or just the Miami chapter, or the second Cavs chapter.
Good to talk to you, Dave. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Deb.